Hey guys, welcome to the Firearm Patriot channel. I'm Russ, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Smith & Wesson's M&P 2.0 Pro Series C.O.R.E. Now this gun was designed for the Carry Optic Division. It's not ported. There's no ported barrel. There's no cut slide on it. Those would push it into open, so you don't have those. It does have metal suppressor sights on it, and I'm running a Hollison 407C on it today. Now there are a lot of good guns out there in the below $1,000 category to run Carry Optics with. This may not be the best. It's the one that I prefer just because of the grip angle and the way the grip feels to me. I am going to make some modifications to it. We'll talk about those in a little bit. So let's go over here and take a little bit closer look at this M&P 2.0 Pro Series C.O.R.E. on the bench. Okay guys, as I indicated, we're taking a look at the M&P 2.0 Pro Series C.O.R.E. This is the non-ported barrel, and there are no slide cuts on this gun. I got this specifically to shoot Carry Optics Division in the USPSA. One of the reasons I like it so much is the grip. The grip texture is kind of a sandpaper grip, which is kind of a hallmark of the 2.0s. It feels very good. There's no tape that needs to be put on it. Since this gun's not going to be worn up against the body, I don't have to worry about it rubbing my skin. But I also like the angle. It has more of a 1911 18-degree angle, and also I like these back straps, or palm swells as they would call them. You actually get 4 of these. You just really, to take that off, you just twist this pin down here at the bottom, you pull it out, you pull up on it. This is the small, which is what I use. It's one of the reasons I don't like Glocks as much, because my hands are a little bit smaller. And but here is a large, and you have a large, a medium large. That in there, it's on there just like that. And to me, you can just get a really good fit no matter what kind of hand size you have. You can't do that with the other 2 guns in this division. If you go to the Glock, it starts out large and just keeps getting larger as you go. The Sig really is just, Legion's just one size. So, that's really not an issue for you as far as adjusting that very much. Now, one of the drawbacks of this particular gun is the fact that it's pretty light. 28.6 ounces. Let me get this in there good. Okay, so with optic on it and the magazine inserted, you do get 2 17-round metal magazines with it. Now I have Taylor Freelance extensions on there that's going to give me 23 rounds, but with that on there, we're looking at 31 ounces. So again, one of the bonuses for this particular gun is the adjustability and the fit that you can get, and customizability to your hand. You can't get that on other guns in this kind of category. Now, one of the drawbacks here of the M&P is they've got these little indentions here, so if you get a mag stuck, you can pull it out, which is good. But there's no beveling of the magazine well. You get a beveled mag well on the Glock 34 and the X5 Legion. So, in Carry Optics, you cannot add a aftermarket mag well. If you do, it takes it out of the Carry Optics division. It's going to put you in open if you got an optic on it. I like the fact that we have a 5-inch barrel. That's going to help make minor easier. And every gun that shoots in Carry Optics is going to be classified as minor, no matter if you're shooting a 45. So, it really is nice to be able to fix a load that you're very comfortable with, and that's going to make minor wherever you go. And that 5-inch barrel just gives you a little bit more options to be able to do that. Now, the reason I got the Performance Center model was because it did have the cut here for the optic, and it already had the suppressor sights in there, which co-witnessed very well with this Hollison 407C. As you can see here, I don't know if you can actually, it's raised up there very good. You got the 2 white dots in the back, you got a white dot in the front. Now, some of the white's already coming off of the dot in the front, which is traditional what I see of Smith & Wesson's. You've also got this armor coating here on the slide, which I think is kind of a melanite. Their version of melanite, which I've had really good success with that. It does very good. You've got your serrations back here, no serrations. Well, you got these little serrations up front, but they don't really mean a lot. You've got the extended metal frame coming in here with a standard Picatinny Picatinny rail. Now, if you get multiple mounting plates that come with a gun, now they're plastic, they go on top here, and they will fit pretty much any optic out there. Now I don't know if anybody's ever had any problems with the plastic. I've not had any problems with it so far. I know there's some companies that make metal ones, but until it tears up on me, I'm gonna run it. But it seems to be working so far without any kind of issues. So that's a positive, that you can run any kind of dot on there and you don't have to go to some aftermarket company to get a plate for your particular dot. Not the case with some of the other guns in this category. Now, if you're buying the gun for the trigger improvements from the Pro Series, I think you're going to be disappointed. I don't think it's that much better than my M&P 2.0 compact, maybe a few ounces lighter, a little bit smoother, but not enough for the additional price. Now I got this at a very good price. I found it for $560. They're running about $650 to $690 now, depending on where you get it from in these pandemic times and gun buying crazes. Now the gun does have extended magazine release here that I put on it. Now this was from Springer Industry. The other one's a little bit lower that comes stock. I have short thumbs, so I bought this. If you don't have short thumbs, you probably don't need it. It also has an extended mag stop that comes stock standard on that Performance Center model. Easy to take the gun down. You just lock the slide back, you flip that lever down to the 6 o'clock position. You can either take this bar and push it down, it's a little yellow bar inside, or you can know your gun's clear, pull the trigger, and it's going to come off. Again, you've got a metal guide rod here with a recoil spring. Now some guns like the Legion gives you 2 recoil springs, so that helps you with different kinds of reloads, but pretty much standard striker fired pistol, nothing too exciting in there. Always been impressed with the beefiness of the rails on the M&P. Put that right back on there, just lock it back, rotate that back up into the 3 o'clock position, release it, we're done. So you got your Picatinny rail up here. Again, you've got the steel inserts that go on up here further to kind of minimize any kind of flex in the gun. I always thought the trigger guard was a little small on the M&P, and the trigger is not that great. You've got the hinge trigger. It is better on the 2.0s than the original, but you know, you got to come back here pretty far back, you hit your wall, release it, and then you go almost all the way back. Now it does have it is adjustable back there for the stop, but I've never used that. I don't know if anybody would. I'm going to replace this trigger with an Apex, just a far superior trigger. But you can see your reset is pretty short. That's your reset, but again, you got to go all the way back. And a lot of people don't like that. So let's go ahead and take a trigger pull on it, because I'm going to do the trigger pull here. This is, of course, the Performance Center model. I do have an Apex striker block in here, which is very similar to this Performance Center block that I took out. About probably the only real difference is a different spring. It does smooth it out a little bit, maybe take a few ounces off the trigger pull, but we'll go ahead and test this trigger. I'll do 3 pulls here. Alright, so on average 4 pounds, 10 ounces. So not a bad trigger, but again, not a great trigger. So we're going to go ahead and take a look later in the video after I've replaced this with Apex, take a look at that. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. We did have to work quite a bit on reloads for this. It just wouldn't shoot any kind of reloads. We're loading some polymer bullets in it. You got to kind of sink those pretty deep for this, and so we've had to do a little bit of work on it that we didn't have to do with the M&P 1.0 from the Performance Center. So you do have a different barrel on this, as well as a different feeding ramp, so that's why. As far as guns under $1,000, I think this represents a pretty good value. Now I am going to put an Apex trigger in that. It's going to run you about $162. I'm still way below the $1,000 mark, and I can purchase some extensions to extend out my magazines to 23 rounds and still meet the 141.25 millimeter requirements for the optic division. So overall, you know, co-witnesses in the sights, any optic on there, there's a lot of benefits to the M&P. I like the way it shoots. I wish it was a little bit heavier. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you do, please like it, share it, and please subscribe for future videos. With that being said, this is the Firearm Patriot. Till next time, God bless America.